Microsoft was going to make some kind of comment when it comes to what Sony had announced today in terms of their new PlayStation Plus service. I prefer personally. I feel like they kind of really went after him with it with their announcements, and for me personally, I felt like this was very smart the way that they kind of handled this. And at the end of the day, I feel like this is probably something that stings some of their gamers a little bit. But hey, like, this is what Microsoft does. Microsoft has been out there doing some very incredible things lately, and I think Sony's been doing some good things lately. It really just kind of comes down to what these companies actually want to achieve and how they go about it. They're going to go about things differently. That's something that honestly is just going to continue to happen. It just is. It's going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to see Microsoft. We're going to continue to see Sony both do different things. Just to be honest with you, that's just what they're going to do. You knew Microsoft was going to come up and do something, and they did. So everybody's talking about this. I wanted to get into it. What's up, everybody? Crap Gamer here with Crap Gamer Reviews. Back with another video. Thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to check it out. It's really appreciated. And if you are checking out the videos, make sure and leave a like. It helps the video to get seen, and it helps the channel to grow. So with that being said, everybody knew that Microsoft was going to come back with something, say something, maybe a tweet or some kind of response to Microsoft or to Sony's big PlayStation push, and they came back with some tweets and stuff like that about options, play blockbusters and indies day one, with the emphasis on the day one aspect, being that that's the biggest issue that people were having with Sony's situation. Now listen, I don't need to get into the whole situation with Microsoft big day one exclusives and things like that versus Sony and Sony's way of doing it. They're two different companies. Two companies can do two different things, right? Honestly, they can, and they can both be successful at it. The thing that I would just kind of point out is that Microsoft is a company that is basically has a limitless option when it comes to the money they can spend, and they're kind of doing a Amazon slash Walmart gimmick where they could potentially force Sony into doing what they're doing, but Sony doesn't really have to do that. As long as gamers are willing to spend money on buying their games, they'll continue to do that, and that's their right, that's their option. I always am happy that that is an option because I buy a lot of games as well. The thing is, when it comes to what Microsoft is doing, they're going about a different route. And I mentioned this on Twitter today, and people were really misunderstanding what I was saying. I said that the payoff for what Microsoft is doing, spending $200 billion or whatever it is, $100 billion plus dollars in 2 years on companies to make video games, the payoff is 15, 20 years from now for them. That's when they plan to make, that's when they want to make bank. That time, people were mistaking that with saying, oh, you're going to have to wait that long for games. No, the game's already in the pipeline. I mean, we've already seen Forza, we've seen Halo. Obviously, we're going to get Starfield, Redfall, probably Motorsport. Looks like next year we're going to be seeing kind of a Valve, Hellblade 2. So we're already starting to see these games. We're seeing the third-party stuff, MLB The Show, Guardians of the Galaxy, smaller stuff like Tunic. We're seeing some quality games enter the service now as it stands, and I think that is something that gets people excited, the games themselves. Is there a negative to Game Pass down the line? I think some people want there to be, because I think that there is a bit of a situation where gamers in general are a little bit afraid of change, myself included. Hey, that's me. I'm afraid of change. I don't really like change. I think that change can suck, and I feel like basically what happens is a lot of people feel that same way. But it wasn't until later on that I was able to fully kind of realize that, hey, if I just look at things in a different kind of perspective, I can see that what they're doing, offering some of this stuff, is really just I can't. It's unbelievable that they're offering so much value and stuff like that. That they're actually able to kind of pull that off, and I think it makes me grateful that there are companies out there that are actually able to kind of do this, and 100%. I love the fact that Microsoft and Sony are both vying for our money. They're vying for as much content as possible. for us, the gamers. Like, I think it's important for us gamers to kind of realize that, we're the ones that hold all the cards when it comes to this stuff. And they're going to continue to go out there and deliver this stuff for us as fans. And that's going to be the key point. So Microsoft kind of going out and, I guess making, I don't want to say making fun, but kind of, rubbing in the fact that, hey, they can do this. They're the only ones that can really do it, in my opinion, anyway. They're the ones that the company that can do that. I just don't feel like Sony can go out there and match it. Maybe one day they can, or they will, or they'll try to, or something. But as far as I could tell, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Microsoft and Sony, like I said, have different ends to their goal, and that's exactly kind of what's happening right now. And in the future, things can change. Microsoft has changed, certainly. Sony could change down the line. But at the end of the day, they're offering an incredible value, and I can see why there's a little bit of fear on the PlayStation side. Now listen, PlayStation has flat out said, hey, our quality of our games would go down if we did games day and date into the service or whatever, right? And that's something that would happen, but that doesn't mean that because that would happen with them, that's what's happening with Microsoft, because Microsoft is offering a service. But if you lower and you have low service overhead, and you have a service that has mediocre product, people aren't going to stay subscribed to it. So you got to put out the best quality you can, and I've been saying this for a while. Microsoft is absolutely putting out the absolute best quality stuff that they put out in a very long time, probably throughout even the whole entire Xbox One generation. And they've just really kind of come a long way with that, and that's been thanks to the service. Whereas before, we were only getting games that were, people don't understand this, but Microsoft only was doing games if they could have potentially been as big as Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's why so many games were canceled. That's why so many games were scrapped. And, it's really kind of unfortunate that happened the way that it does. But, Game Pass allows there to be much, 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 much more variety and things like that. And I think that people probably are starting to realize that now a little bit. And if you listen to like some of the interviews with what's been possible with Game Pass, they've made it pretty clear that it doesn't have to be a big 20 million seller. There's places for smaller stuff like Psychonauts 2 to sit next to Gears of War, right? Like, that wouldn't have been possible before with the way they were doing things. Everything had to be a big seller. And that's not going to be good for gamers. That's not going to be good for developers. So we see Microsoft kind of has this epic little comeback, and people aren't always going to be happy about that. But Microsoft, they're going to continue to do what they do, and eventually we'll see what Sony has to do. Sony's going to have to come back and do something. I feel like their PlayStation subscription thing ain't it for me personally, but we'll see. With that being said, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.